Wiring the R terminal through a safety float switch stops the thermostat from powering the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system when a drain pan overflows, so the equipment shuts down and prevents water damage. When you route the R conductor through a normally closed float switch, the switch sits in series with the 24-volt power supply to the thermostat and control board. If condensation or a clogged drain causes the pan to rise, the float opens and removes the 24-volt reference, so the thermostat loses power and cannot call for cooling or run condensate-producing functions. Install the float switch in the primary drain pan or in the overflow pan and mount it so the actuating mechanism is above the high water line but below the point at which water would escape. Use stranded copper thermostat wire sized appropriately for low voltage control circuits and keep runs separate from line voltage conductors to avoid induced interference. Always verify operation by energizing the system, lifting the float manually to simulate an overflow, and confirming the indoor blower and compressor stop within a few seconds, while any integrated control lights indicate loss of 24-volt input. For systems with electronic control boards that monitor our presence, check the board wiring diagram because some boards require an isolated return or specific terminals to register an open safety condition correctly. Common mistakes include wiring the float switch on the wrong conductor so the control board still senses R and continues to run, which you fix by confirming the switch is in series with the actual R feed and testing with a multimeter. Another issue is placing the float where vibrations or condensate drip create nuisance trips, and you avoid that by using a float with a stable actuation mechanism or relocating it slightly lower so only sustained high water will trip it. A third concern is not protecting the float switch terminals from corrosion or shorting in a wet environment, so use corrosion-resistant connectors and a small sealed junction box or dielectric grease on connections to maintain reliable operation. BigHomeProjects.com helps homeowners find trusted local contractors for flood prevention and thermostat control work by listing professionals and letting users compare experience and feedback. We also help contractors find work and network through our discussion community, where professionals and homeowners share real-world tips and project recommendations.